Good evening, everybody. Once again, this is a UFC 143 post-fight recap with Stanley Thunderheart. And tonight, oh my goodness, close to this, during the Super Bowl weekend, man, you cannot pick a better time and a better night for great action-packed fights. Wow. Let me put it like this. This was a great night overall for a lot of the fights. Matter of fact, I would even go ahead and say all the fights, really. They were all good in their own way. And there were some decisions that were questionable in some people's eyes. I'll discuss that later as I go along. So, here we go. Stittgen versus Stephen Thompson. And the winner is Stephen Thompson via knockout. This didn't take long at all. Basically, Stittgen was so stiff in the way he was moving, around and so forth that, of course, Stephen was a, karate person, basically was just really relaxed. You just kept picking his target like a Lyoto Machida type of, or John Jones type of strategy. Yet, of course, he was able to throw some couple punches and then finally connect with a nice regular roundhouse. And he kicked Stittgen in the face and actually kicked him in the side of the head and knocked him out. So, congratulations, Stephen Thompson on that. Stephen Thompson. And Rafael Natal versus Michael Kuiper. And the winner is Rafael Natal, unanimous decision. That was a good victory too. Didn't lasted off, of course, to the third round, but it went to his decision. So congratulations. And Matthew Riddle versus Henry Martinez, and the winner is Matthew Riddle, split decision. It just started off with Henry Martinez just coming out with a ball of fire with leg kicks and throwing nice combinations and so forth. And in the first round, it definitely went to Henry Martinez because Matthew Riddle did not really have a rhythm yet. He couldn't find his rhythm early on, and so he kept on getting hit and getting disoriented. And even though he was throwing combinations, trying to throw it back at him, he was getting countered by Martinez too often than not. That he had his eye busted, on top of his eye busted open a bit and things like that. But starting in the middle of the second round, that's when he finally got his rhythm by mixing it up. What I mean by that is he started throwing boxing combinations, but he started throwing like leg kicks. But more important than that, it wasn't just leg kicks that he was really throwing that got him going. It was throwing roundhouses to the sides of the ribs, whether it was the left side or the left side of Martinez's ribs. So he kept on throwing combinations and kicks to the stomachs and to the ribs to a point where it was starting to win him. And then in the end of the second round, that's when Riddle really went at it and started hitting him and kneeing him and things like that. But it was, of course, Martinez was saved by the bell. And then the third round was basically like the end of the second round, which was, of course, Riddle really found his rhythm and really started doing combinations, lots of not leg kicks, but lots of stomach kicks and midsection kicks with side kicks, roundhouses. And then, of course, what he was able to do is he was able to actually take him down to the ground around the end, and actually was on top of him and had him pounding him. But then it went to distance, and of course the split decision went to Matthew Riddle, and that was a well-deserved split decision, by the way. So congratulations. And Matt Brown versus Chris Cope, and the winner is Matt Brown via knockout. Wow. You gotta be kidding me. Of course, Chris came at him first and had him tied up in the fence and so forth. And of course, Matt Brown would turn around and had him tied up in the fence. But what it really boiled down to it was that Matt Brown finally got it going with the striking. Finally got standing up, and it got so out of hand, it got so crazy, of course, that it turned out that, of course, Matt Brown went and threw a nice right hook. That's what it really started got him dazed. They threw a nice left hook, hit him when he went down, and that's when he did a nice hammer fist when he went down to the side of the head, and he started throwing a couple more punches. That's when the referee stopped it and rewarded Matt Brown the knockout victory. So congratulations, and let's just see now if Matt Brown can continue on this winning track back, more often than not, because I remember he's been losing fights the last few times. Now let's see if he can get his momentum back and get it going again like he did once before. So congratulations. And Alex Caceres versus Edwin Figueroa, and the winner is Edwin Figueroa, split decision. Now this is one of those type of fights that was, I consider it very controversial, and I'm going to tell you why. Because let me put it like this: Alex Caceres was really was on his game. I mean, he had the most strikes out of Edwin Figueroa, and yeah, Edwin Figueroa was doing good as well and everything else too. But what happened was in the last two. Let me put it this way: this fight lasted about 30 minutes actually. Why? It wasn't because it was the contest itself that lasted 30 minutes. What really got it going into lasting longer than normal time frame was because on two separate occasions, from round 1 and round 2, Alex Caceres was on ball of fire. I mean, he was doing good techniques, but he kept on trying to kick him inside leg kick, and the fact that he was a little taller than Figueroa, he should have like really try to hit him outside or try to at least hit him in the midsection. Instead, he trying to kick him in the inside leg. That he actually kicked him in the grind, not once but twice. Now, the first time when he did that, it was an accident, and I actually believe it was an accident the second time too. But it was an accident the first time, and he should have probably learned to, not to either go for that or kick outside or kick more in the midsections. Instead, he just kept on trying to kick the inside leg, and instead he kicked him again in the grind twice. So each time he was kicked in the grind, it took a lot longer for him to recover, and the referee had him a lot of time to recover. So that's what took a long time for this fight to take place. And they did went the distance, but man, it was way longer than that, and to say the least. But each and every time, though, and of course, Herb Dean, the referee, took 2 points off of Caceres in the second round. So that really cost him, despite the fact that he, each time when it went to the ground, Caceres was actually dominating him with grappling, striking, and even like attempts to do rear naked chokes, but he couldn't slap it on right. He couldn't slap it on, and it was too slippery and everything. So it went the distance, and basically they rewarded Edwin Figueroa the split decision. I mean, let's be honest with you. Let's be honest. I mean, if it wasn't for the fact, in my view, that Alex Caceres had his points taken away, he would have won that fight. I thought, I mean, because to be honest with you, I mean, even the fact that he did kick him in the grind and had his 2 points taken away, I still felt that Alex Caceres did way more than Figueroa was able to do, and in so many ways. So I really felt Alex Caceres should have gotten that, but congratulations, Edwin Figueroa, your split decision victory. I know he's going to take it, but I guarantee you, if it wasn't for the 2 points that were taken away, I know Caceres would have gotten it. So either way, so congratulations. And Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway, and the winner is Dustin Poirier via submission. I mean, that was one of the most excellent submissions, and I hope that actually wins submission tonight, because it has to. I mean, to be honest with you, it had to have won submission tonight the way it was done. I mean, yeah, Max Holloway, was not new in the UFC, but he's new in the UFC, but not new to MMA. Well, of course, with 6 fights and everything, but he still went at him, the youngest mixed martial artist in professional right now, went at it with Dustin Poirier, and he didn't give him a good striking battle and everything else too. But as soon as it went to the ground, that's when it was a totally different story, because Dustin Poirier started controlling him, started grinding and pounding him a little bit. But what he was able to do was he was able to actually twist around his body and actually trap him in a cross arm bar at first. And I thought he had him there. But Max Holloway was very resilient. He actually was able to get on the mount position and was able to alleviate the pressure from that. But instead, Dustin Poirier thought ahead of time, and rather than just simply rested on his laurels and kept a guard, he reversed it right away into a triangle armbar. But what he did instead, he rather than stay on the but rather than Max Holloway be on the mount position, he actually went on the mount position himself with the triangle. So he actually had his neck trapped with a triangle with his legs, and was able to actually straighten his arm out towards his way. So basically, he was in the mount, he had his head trapped, and he actually brought his arm so well, and he got so stretched that it almost snapped, and he made him tap out. So that was an excellent submission victory. So congratulations, Dustin Poirier, on that, one of the best submissions I've seen in a long time. And that had better been one submission tonight. He better have got that, because that had to be the best. And the next bout is Ed Herman versus Clifford Starks. And the winner is Ed Herman via submission with a rear naked choke. I mean, it just didn't take long at all. Basically, Clifford Starks had Ed Herman in the fence a lot and outstruck him a lot in many ways too, because he had blood on his face and so forth in the first round. But by the time it went to the second round, though, that's when it was a different story, because even though sure it was Ed Herman was still getting outstruck, it got to a point where Ed Herman got him to the ground, and that's when the dynamics of the fight really shifted, because Clifford Starks is not that good in the ground, obviously. And so then, of course, Herman was able to get on top of him, slap the rear naked choke, and just force him to tap out. So congratulations, Ed Herman, on that great victory. And Renan Barao versus Scott Jorgensen, and the winner is Renan Barao, unanimous decision. I mean, let's just say this was an excellent fight. Oh my goodness! I mean, these two guys really. It was basically just a stand-up striking battle with kicks and punches. That's basically what it really was. It wasn't really much of a ground game or anything like that going on, and even though there was very little bit, it went all 3 rounds. But Renan Barao did more striking, not just more striking, but actually connected more than Jorgensen, and rightfully so. So it was a great unanimous decision victory on Renan Barao with I would say now my 17th fight win or something like that now. So congratulations. And another controversial situation that happened: Josh Koscheck versus Mike Pierce. And the winner is Josh Koscheck via split decision. I mean, Mike Pierce really came at him and tied him up in the fence, doing nice punches and everything. And Josh Koscheck didn't really, I mean, yeah, he did strike back and everything and did some nice combinations, but he didn't really do too much against Mike Pierce. But, of course, Josh Koscheck was able to have him to the ground, and a couple times, actually, and that's what made the difference right there with the points, because Mike Pierce couldn't really necessarily get Josh to the ground to save his life, to be honest with you. And so, of course, Josh Koscheck I think what really got him going with the points was the fact that he was able to take him down a few times. Other than that, it was a pretty much even-Steven matchup. And so, congratulations to Josh Koscheck on another victory. It was a split decision that many people thought that Mike Pierce should have gotten, but nonetheless, the judge saw it different. And I guess I have to ask you guys: do you guys think that Josh Koscheck should have gotten that, or Mike Pierce? So, any event, and then the next one was the co-main event: Roy Big Country Nelson versus Fabricio Werdum. And the winner is Fabricio Werdum via a unanimous decision. I mean, if anybody does not know who this guy was, this guy, Fabricio Werdum, was the first guy that actually beaten Fedor Emelianenko. And of course, before that, though, within 10 years, Fedor Emelianenko has been undefeated within 10-year mark. And he finally ended Fedor Werdum's 10-year undefeated streak. That's about sometime last year in Strikeforce. And now he went to UFC, and he's beaten Big Country Boy Nelson with nice vicious knees, nice combinations, and even attempted to put submission holds on him. And even there are times when Big Country knocked him down, he even waited till Big Country even tries to get on him so he can slap on more submissions, because he's really a great jiu-jitsu practitioner. But nonetheless, of course, Big Country kept on coming at him and even got busted open, right? So, and he had his cut open so wide that the blood was all over the place. But needless to say, Roy Nelson kept coming, but he was also gassing at the same time. And Fabricio was not stupid. He wasn't going to just throw haymakers and get caught by Roy Nelson. He knows how strong Roy Nelson's power punches really were. So congratulations on Fabricio Werdum on an excellent unanimous decision victory on a very, very game Big Country Roy Nelson. So, and the main event of the evening actually had Nick Diaz versus Carlos Condit, and the winner and new UFC welterweight interim champion Carlos Condit via a unanimous decision. Now, a lot of people, of course, this was another controversial victory, the one I'm talking about. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, first of all, it did turn out that Carlos Condit And Nick Diaz, when round started happening, of course, Nick Diaz did throw more combinations, but of course, Carlos Condit kept backing up. But at the same time, though, when he did throw some combinations, he did some few hits and so forth. But Nick Diaz hit him way more with the combinations, and even, of course, did his usual taunt, like, "Come on, hit me! Come on, get at me!" and so forth. But of course, in the second round was pretty much the same thing as round one, except that Carlos Condit was starting to get the groove off a little bit, but he still was getting backed up by Nick Diaz, because Nick Diaz just kept coming at him like a bull in a china shop, in a sense. So he just kept coming at him, and of course Carlos Condit was more defensive than anything else, but he still held his ground. And then there were times that Nick Diaz kept missing and keep wasting his energy with certain strikes that did not connect. And then of course in the third round, that's when things started shifting. And that's when Nick Diaz got a little tired and he got busted open a little bit. And Carlos Condit got some scratches here and there too. And so, of course, that's when Nick Diaz slowed down a little bit. And that's when Carlos Condit was actually able to at least get back, but at least able to still throw some combos, leg kicks, kicks to the head, punches to the faces, and stuff like that. And it just went on basically until the fifth round, when Nick Diaz was still getting that strike. And I mean, and even though during the last 3, 4, and 5 rounds, Nick Diaz kept coming at him, but kept throwing sloppy combinations that didn't connect, kept throwing kicks, and then of course Carlos Condit wasn't doing much damage, but at the same time he was still landing hits that actually was starting to rock Nick Diaz a little bit more. Even though Nick Diaz wanted to act like he wasn't hurt, but he was hurt definitely. And so, and then of course in the fifth round, in the last few minutes actually in the last couple minutes of that fight, Nick Diaz finally actually not just really took him out, he just nicely and surely got him from the back and actually put him down and was trying to attempted a rear naked choke on him. But Carlos Condit, of course, just kept moving his arms, kept pressing of course his arm off of him, make sure he wasn't going to get choked out, and he kept when he got a chance to, kept hitting him from the front and kept hitting in his face. But needless to say, the time didn't run out. It went the distance. It went a long distance, and it just went to a decision where so many people were, of course, cheering, but then others were not. And now Carlos Condit, the new interim UFC welterweight champ. Now he's going to be going against Georges St-Pierre, and Nick Diaz. A lot of people thought that Nick Diaz was robbed. Let me ask you guys something. Do you guys really think that Nick Diaz was robbed from this? If so, just give me your thoughts and let's see, and let me know what you think. And those who don't, let me know what you think too. So either way, congratulations Carlos Condit on winning the interim belt. Now he's going to have to go against Georges St-Pierre, and Georges St-Pierre is no Nick Diaz. He's been a champion for a long time. A lot of people even are saying that Carlos Condit could beat Georges. Let's see about that. I mean, I just think that perhaps the interim belt is probably only about as far as Carlos Condit is going to get, but I could be wrong. But as soon as Georges heals, he's going to, of course, be better than ever, and he's going to come back better than ever. And I will tell you that one thing right now, Carlos Condit better be prepared to take it away from Georges, because the way he looked against Nick Diaz was not necessarily it didn't look convincing. It did not look like he can convince me that he can beat up Georges for the welterweight belt. So, but either way, congratulations. Enjoy your interim championship while you can. And if you beat Georges St-Pierre, great. But let's just see what happens when you get in. So, any event, 143. Man, that was an excellent event overall. And I just want to tell you guys, since the Super Bowl weekend is here, I just want to let you guys know that just basically take care of yourselves, be safe, and that's it. And thanks for watching, and for my fans out there, thank you for your support and for your love and respect. And definitely take care of yourselves. Healing, it is all that is.